Hot take. Bucket lists are dumb.
That's dumb.
There, I said it. Come at me, bro. Except don't come at me because I'm really quite weak. Well, not weak. I can put up a fight, but...
Heavy pacifist.
Today, we're going to talk about a thing I wrote called kicking the idea... That's a punch. Kicking the idea bucket. I'd kick, but I'm sitting on the floor.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50.
I got some tight hip flexors and I'm seeing a PT right now, but... Anyway, this is a big, heady idea. You might want to sit down for this one, just to take in the majesty of it and just let it consume you and really make you think about just what you're doing with your life and how you're approaching it and really what you should be focusing on.
What are you going to do with your life?
Not that I'm going to tell you, but, you know, you should really put some thought into it. I should put some thought into it. I do. That's why we're here. First, bucket background.
B-U-C-K-E-T.
I have right here a dossier on buckets. I don't. This is just some notes that I wrote earlier. But we can talk about buckets because, you know, I've already mentioned them twice now.
Oh, bucket.
This is a bucket. This is a bucket. If I've put a bucket there. This is a bucket. Bucket. This is a bouquet.
Bouquet.
Spelled bucket. This is a... bucket head. This is a bucket of, make a note, insert word of whatever footage I can find of stuff in a bucket. Now, a bucket list has nothing to do with buckets. Well, straight up lie. I mean, it's a bucket list. The word bucket is right there in the title. Where does that come from? It's to do with the idiom to kick the bucket.
You kick the bucket.
You'll see how this all comes back around in a minute. Now, the etymology, or is that entomology? Etymology? One of them's insects.
Very likely insect hairs.
That's silly. That's ridiculous.
Which, if you kick the bucket, the insects will come around eventually. Trust me. Cycle of life.
I'm going to kick the bucket.
It's etymology. So to kick the bucket, if you don't already know, means
It is time for you to shuffle off your mortal coil.
to expire.
This is an X pattern.
Pop your pogs, a dirt nap, cash in your chips, croak, the big sleep.
Dun, dun, dun. You know. Which brings us to the concept of the bucket list. I'm sure you're familiar with it. I mean, there's a whole movie called The Bucket List.
I run hospitals, not health spas.
Jack Nicholson's finest grumpy old man roles. He's had quite a lot. In terms of cry quotient, I believe it probably falls maybe around the 3 out of 5 Kleenex to dab at your tears as you watch it. Spoiler alert, someone dies. I mean, I didn't cry. It's a 0 Kleenex movie for me, but I have a heart of ice.
I don't cry. I work out.
Apologies, I'm getting off track here. Did you know, fun fact, that the term bucket list was not popular in the vernacular, maybe it didn't even exist, I don't know, before that movie? That boggles my mind. And then it became popular. Pretty soon, you know, everyone's coming up with bucket lists. That movie just made it through the roof. Everyone's talking about bucket lists. What's on your bucket list? Are you going to check off your bucket list? To think there was a time before the term was popular when it was probably just called a list, a to-do list. Sorry, I'm coming down hard on bucket lists, which I'm getting ahead. Kick the bucket means you... Bucket list is...
Make a list of all the things we wanted to do in our lives before we kick the bucket.
You know, things that you would regret if you didn't finish them. The things you'd typically find on a bucket list would be experiential things or destinations that you want to travel to and sites that you want to see. I don't know, going to Paris, see the Taj Mahal, running of the bulls, that kind of bullshit. My problem with them, this is another hot take, is aren't they just glorified to-do lists? Like, I would wager that if you actually took some of the things that people put on their bucket lists and weighed them against, you know, how would you feel if you didn't do that before you died? A lot of these things aren't that important.
It doesn't matter.
Like, there would be no genuine regret if you didn't get to jump out of a plane. I mean, some I totally understand. I'm not denying that, yeah, that's something that's worthwhile doing before you die. But here's the thing. Before I wrote the thing that I wrote that we still haven't talked about, I just, was curious about, what sort of things people put on bucket lists. So I did a little tippity type into the Google machine, and I found a mega list of, I think it was like 1,000 things for a bucket list. And I wouldn't say it made me mad, it made me angry, but
Bucket list item number 1.
it really did reinforce just the pointlessness of a bucket list.
Meet Kenneth Branagh and challenge him to a soliloquy contest.
And how some people treat the bucket list as if it's some kind of life bingo,
Yodel at the top of Mont Blanc.
rather than actual things that would possibly mean something to you, like a competition of sorts. For example, one, and I actually used this in the thing I wrote, wade in a cranberry bog. See, that one to me doesn't seem like something you absolutely must do before you die. Oh my God, the experience is so rewarding. That's more like the concept of the 1 hour job. Something that I wouldn't like to do it professionally full time, but I would like to do it for at least an hour. Maybe that one's not the best example. But included in this list were things like be a maid of honor.
We're going to give you hypothetical maid of honor situation.
Be considered a cougar.
Where did you two meet? An Amber Alert?
I mean, as you age, ladies, that just happens naturally. Forgive someone. You've gotten so far in your life that you've never forgiven someone? What kind of animal are you?
You're a monster.
Don't put that on a bucket list. That's just being a good human being. Ugh, this one. Tell your father you love him. I'm not going to do it today.
Hey, Dad.
I'm not ready for it today. Let's move this one further down the list. I don't want to jump the gun on telling my father that I love him.
I love you, Dad!
Write a love note with lipstick on a bathroom mirror. Gag. I'm sorry, but these are not bucket list worthy things. This is just a list. Like I said, it's bucket bingo.
Hey, here's another bee.
It's not a bucket list. This is why bucket lists are dumb. Oh, here's another one. Watch a documentary. This is a drinking game, right? It can't be a bucket list. If you don't do some of these things, you're not going to regret it when you die. You're not going to say, God damn it, I died at 87 and I never in my life watched a documentary.
Do you guys want to watch me eat?
Sure. I have so many regrets. What a wasted life. Oh, this one. Run through sprinklers. Run through sprinklers. Anyway. Just reading some of these bucket list items made me think, you know what I'm going to do? It's not quite an anti-bucket list, but it's sort of like a confessional bucket list of sorts, but it's the things that I'm never going to do.
Never say never.
You feeling me? It's not a bad construct for writing something. So I structured it in 3 parts. And you can go read it. It's quite short. I'll put the link in the description.
Go away and come back.
The first part of it were the I will nevers that were either experiential or much like the standard bucket list item, places to go, things to do. Material and physical things. So things like, I will never ride a horse in the Kentucky Derby. I will never go to space. I will never pet a giraffe. Hello. That's only 3 of the things that were in that first section of the list. At the end of that first section, I wrote, I will never discount the possibility that I may do some or all of the above things in the future.
Never say never, but, probably.
I think the problem with bucket lists for me, this is just my opinion, is that they add this element of expectation to the thing that you've written down. There's an anxiety about getting them done. There's no spur of the moment opportunistic things that you just do. So the reason I added that caveat is okay, I have this list of things that I'm never going to do because I'm not interested in riding a horse, let alone in the Kentucky Derby, or I'm not interested in jumping off really high things, whether I'm tethered with a giant elastic band or I've got a parachute on my back or whatever. I'm not something that appeals to me. But if I were to ever be offered the opportunity to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, I would consider it. So they're I will nevers that, maybe one day. Never, ever, never, 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 but they're not something that I will regret if I never do. The second middle chunk of the thing I wrote were the I will nevers that I literally will never do.
I hope I never.
Like, I'm willfully against doing. Either I'm opposed to doing it, like I will never sing Coldplay at karaoke. It's not going to happen. Or I'm incapable of doing it. Like, it's just not within the realms of possibility. Like, I will never win a medal at the Olympics as part of an ice skating duo.
They laughed at Louis Armstrong when he said he was going to go to the moon.
Just not going to happen. I will never enjoy horror movies.
Horror movie right there on my TV.
I've accepted that in my life. It's just, I do not like them.
Horror movie right there on my TV.
They make me very anxious and I will never like them.
Knocking me right out of my brain.
So stop trying. Don't at me. I know some of y'all just love horror movies, but they don't make me feel good. Why would I willingly do stuff that doesn't make me feel good? I know, I'm weird.
You're weird.
I end that section of the I will nevers that I will legitimately never do by saying that I will never worry about the fact that I'm never going to do those things. Like, it does not disturb me in the least. Let them go. Not even thinking about them. Now, the third and final section of the thing I wrote were the I will nevers that I am afflicted with constantly. Like, I'm already doing them and I will never be rid of them.
Never say never!
So they're like the looking inward ones, the internal I will nevers, the self-doubts, the things that hold me back. These are things that probably actually should be on a bucket list because you do want to resolve them before you cash in your chips or before you leg it to the other world or to a different timeline. Who knows what happens?
Reset the timeline.
So they're not destinations, they're not experiences. They're just things that could help make a better version of yourself. I will actually, just circling back for a second, I will accept that jumping out of an aeroplane probably does make you a braver person if that's one of the things you're trying to overcome. Like, that could be a tool by which to make you braver. Maybe I should jump out of a plane.
Johnny, you're about to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Thank you. This was a short list, and I'll actually read it to you right now because, you know, I'm not embarrassed about it. They're just things that I do feel I do have to work on. This is my struggle.
My struggle.
I will never be cool. I will never consider myself brave or original or special. I will never not be afraid of phone calls. I will never stop being cruel to myself. I will never not be hurt by cruel comments. I will never not pretend I am not. I will never trust someone completely. I will never not be upset about this. I will never have enough time, but there are things I will always make time for. I will never stop trying to kick those nevers.
Never say never.
So if you look at that, those are internals that could be on probably a more traditional bucket list that wasn't centered around experiences or travel. This is working on the self, working on the environment and landscape of your psyche or your personality. Some aren't really important to work on. Like, I accept that I'm not cool.
Not cool, not cool.
But if you take that the next step, I need to work on not caring about the fact that people don't think I'm cool, right? I don't even really know what cool is, and that's probably half the problem. But things like the phone fear, it sounds weird, but I get very anxious about calling people, particularly strangers, and answering phone calls. Caller ID has helped a lot, I will say. But like, there's something about not knowing what's on the other end of the line, whether it's bad news or if I have to call and have a confrontation with like a cable company about a bill or maybe cancelling my cable. I can't do it. I will do it. I do it, but it is not cool. I think I might be a therapist's dream.
Why do you find that funny?
The biggest one on there is probably the trust thing. That one hurts. I want to trust. But you're all so untrustworthy. The being cruel to myself, just stop it, Janine. Stop being so cruel. You're so down on yourself.
Just a girl with no friends and an empty heart.
Don't talk to my friend that way. You're okay. You're good. You're good. I think they'd be good bucket list things. Stop being cruel to myself. Stop caring what other people think. Trust someone with your trust. Etc., etc. The phrase kick the bucket, by the way, I never did actually talk about the etymology of it back there when I started rambling on about what it actually meant. I looked into it, found a thing on the Oxford University Press blog where there were 3 possible explanations for it, one involving the butchery of pigs, and there were 2 others, but none of them could be confirmed, so kicking the bucket has actually been left as origins unknown. But I really like the idea of a bucket as being symbolic of life, like buckets hold things for your life. Buckets, hold all the fluids of you, all the emotions, all the thought, all the achievements. And ultimately, when you pass away, the bucket is knocked over, the liquid contents of your life spill onto the earth and are soaked into the ground as water into dirt or as butter on hot toast. Back into the soil to be absorbed. And I think the great lesson is to ensure that your bucket is full by the end of your life, not half empty. Or not completely empty. We've done nothing. Maybe that's why it's a bucket list. By checking things off the bucket, you're filling the bucket up. It's not about kicking the bucket and dying. It's about living a rich... No, it's life bingo. Don't like it. Not a fan. Do you have a bucket list? I know I just spent a whole episode making fun of them, but, what would you absolutely want to do before you died? Is there, somewhere you'd like to go? Something you'd like to do?
Dominating your bucket list?
Something you'd like to make peace with? Tell me in the comments down below. I tell you what, let's leave it at that. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.